Hi, my name is Andrew, and before I jump into the content that I have for you guys tonight, I want to give a little bit of an intro on myself and my business. I am a U.S. Marine veteran. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2020, and as I'm sure you remember, there was a lot going on around that time with the COVID-19 pandemic and everything else that happened that year. Uh, Something that I saw happening during that time was a lot of small businesses were really hurting as a result of lockdown measures, and that wasn't something that fell well with me because I believe very strongly that small business is the backbone of America. And so I started my business, Sovereign SEO, with the objective to connect small local businesses such as yourself to more customers so that you guys can help more people and in turn have the growth and success that you want for your business. So with that in mind, I want to talk to you about how you can do exactly that using your presence online. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys were some metrics. And I know based on your address on your website, you guys are up in the northern Phoenix area. So although I'm sure you do work in the whole valley, probably words like Glendale or Scottsdale is probably what you guys would be more interested in. But right now I'm currently zeroing in on Southeast Valley just because, just for sake of an example, we could do this for Scottsdale and Glendale and it would be very similar. But this is a tool that I use called Ahrefs. Among other things, it allows me to take a look at how many people are searching for what terms on Google each month. So Mesa Landscaping gets on average 2.9 thousand searches each month. Landscaping Chandler gets 450 on average. And all these similar keywords that, as you can see, indicate that somebody's looking to buy landscaping services, or at least learning about landscaping services in their area, all those are getting hundreds of searches per month. So what this means is that, around the valley and in each particular locale, there is a significant number of people searching for the services that your company offers. So I'm sure as a business owner, you can grasp the value of what that would mean for your company to capture 100, 200, 300 of those searches back onto your page, or potentially even more. Because what we know is that about 5 to 10% of people that visit your page are able to actually go reach out to you and translate into clients, or excuse me, not clients, but into leads, where hopefully you can translate them into clients as well. So, if you're capturing even 100 leads, let's say, not leads, excuse me, 100 searches that are coming to your page, then that means that you're going to get on average 5 to 10 leads from that every month, just by nature of those people coming to your website. And I think 100 per month is a very conservative estimate that you'd be able to see a lot more than that if you implement some of these tips that I'm going to give you. So with that in mind, I want to give you these tips so that you guys can do exactly that. So the first tip that I have has to do with the content on your website. When I say content, I mean text content like this. And the first recommendation that I have would be to add at least 500 more words, probably more, but at least 500. And the reason for that is when you're writing content, you really want your content to include these sorts of words that I highlighted earlier. What this does for you is if I'm searching Mesa Landscaping and on your page you have Mesa Landscaping, up here in a header, down here in a paragraph, and then one more time down below, so just for example, it'll make it very easy for Google to understand that your page should be in front of the person searching for Mesa Landscaping. All right, so that's my first tip, and just an example of what that looks like in terms of putting it into practice. I searched for Landscape Phoenix AZ. Your top competitor here is Master AZscapes. And if we look at their website, right up front we have Landscaper Phoenix, Landscaper in Phoenix, Landscaper in Phoenix, Phoenix Landscaping, Phoenix Landscaper. So these guys are very much taking advantage of this strategy, and as you can see, they're in a high profile position. So that was the first tip that I had. The second half of how you rank highly down here is what my second tip is about, and that's something called backlinks. All a backlink is somewhere that your site is mentioned elsewhere on the internet. So somewhere that there's a link that goes back to your website. Right now, this is you guys' backlink profile. You currently don't have any. And just for reference again, Master AZscapes right here, this is what their backlink profile looks like. So they have 1,000 backlinks coming from almost 500 different websites. And the reason that this is important is because it's kind of just like a big popularity contest for Google. Whoever's mentioned on the internet more times in reputable places means basically in the eyes of Google that your site is more reputable. So if you have more mentions on the internet, it's more likely that not only are you going to appear on the list when I search for something like this, but you're going to be up here, like these guys are, on the front page, rather than being all the way down here on page 7, 8, or 9 where nobody's ever going to find your website. Alright, so that's the second tip, and just to show you kind of how powerful these practices can be, these guys are getting almost 2,000 people visiting their website every month on average. So with that many people, that means that they're getting probably about 100 leads a month from their website. So as far as business goes, I'm sure they're earning a ton of business just by having these high-ranking places on their website. So implementing these tips really can make a big difference. All right, so moving on to my third and final tip. My third and final tip has to do with this right here. This is called the map pack. You'll notice that Master AZscapes, despite being the top of the rankings down here, doesn't appear in here. And that's because, like we just talked about, backlinks are the primary influence for ranking down here in the organic rankings. But in the map pack, there's another factor at play that's very important. It's something called citations. And all a citation is somewhere that your business name, phone number, and address are displayed together on the internet. So somewhere like BBB or yellowpages.com. Alright, so my recommendation here would be that you go to your top 3 competitors for whatever words that you want to be found for, and you find out where they have citations, and then you get those citations for your business as well. Go to that same directory and get your business listed there. That's called the copycat method. It's very effective for staying up to date with your competition and staying a little bit ahead, as long as you're doing it with multiple companies that are at the top of the listings. So you'll see that really helps with your rankings, getting you into these 3 high-profile spots where you get a lot of views as well. And that's that's my third and final tip. So to go back and rehash quickly, the first 2 tips were about how you can rank highly down there. First one was to get more of these sorts of keywords into your content on your web page by adding more and writing those keywords into it. The second tip was to get more backlinks so that you guys can rank here on page 1. And the third tip was to add more citations so that your business can appear here in these top 3 rankings too. So that's all I have for you. I would really appreciate if you would take just 1 minute to send me a quick line of feedback so I know if this info has been helpful to you. Other than that, thank you so much for your time watching this, and I look forward to hearing back from you.